Does that shock you, having been so representative of your generation, to feel now like, what the hell am I looking at, kind of thing, or no? But you're so young at spirit. I mean that. I'm not just saying that to blow smoke.
Thank you. Yeah. No, that's nice. Yeah. But I like keeping that youth, and I like keeping an open mind. But an open mind means less restrictions, and these days, for good reason and for good intent, there's a great deal of a closing of the mind.
Right. Well, Killers walks that line incredibly, because it tells the story of a moral injustice, more than a moral injustice, a human injustice, but you still have characters that are wonderfully complicated. And that's hard to achieve.
Well, because there isn't it isn't as simple as suddenly you go into a world that's all morally unjust and everybody's very serious and they're all villains. Right. No, it's the guy next to you. It's you, even. Catholicism was confession. You have examination of conscience. Or in Maoist, it was Maoist self-criticism. You know what I mean?
Right.
But not to be afraid to criticize yourself.
Right.
And don't become cowed by what other people think.
Right.
And what they want you to think, I should say.
Right. Do you feel like the story around your life and your work, impacted the kind of movies you were making?
I don't know. The story of my life was, I guess, wound up in the movies in the mid-'70s. That was a little rough period. Pretty rough period till about 78. 76, 78 were pretty tough. And came out of it at the end of 78. I just embraced myself from where I came from and did this film that De Niro really wanted me to make over the years, but I had resisted. And that was Raging Bull.
I think I read that you hadn't wanted to do it at first.
Well, for many different reasons. He saw it sooner than I did. He knew it was me. He knew it was in me, the Jake LaMotta character that we were making. And so then I felt comfortable. And I realized, I know
You didn't see it at first?
No, I was blind.
Because you thought you didn't relate to it, or...
It was, first of all, we hadn't really consolidated the script. And
Well, it's a huge story.
Yeah. And
the last 30 minutes are a different movie in an amazing way. Yeah.
But there were different things. The relationship with De Niro was changing, too.
Because of his stardom?
And other things. Do you want to work again with him? You know what I'm saying? I had to really think about that.
Well, some of the best collaborations happen with,
Yeah. But we went through that period, and we came out the other side. It was Raging Bull.
Right, there you go.
So then we did it again in King of Comedy. Then I wanted to go off into Last Temptation of Christ, to other films that I wanted, Gangs of New York, things like that. And ultimately, when I say embraced where I came from, Raging Bull, was... it's the 70s, and where I came from, people were still alive. My parents were still living down in the tenements. A lot of the stories I was putting in my movies had elements of truth in them. A lot of people down there were still alive, names you couldn't mention.
So, yes, there's a sensitivity around these.
Yeah. So I was in L.A. I had long hair, I had cowboy clothes. I loved
I saw a picture of you at the Cannes Film Festival recently, and it's not the Marty I met.
Yeah. So no, what happened, I had to grow the beard because I looked so young, everybody was laughing.
Okay.
They thought it was 12 years. I said, no, okay, so I grew a beard. But what I'm getting at is that I couldn't really talk too much or embrace too much my background. But by the time I did Raging Bull, I said, the hell with it.
Right.
And I went back, and my mother and father were in the film, and we shot it downtown.
Because you started using your mom. She's in it. Yeah. Was it simply a respectful fear, or more than that?
It was a caution.
It was a caution.
Yes. No, a lot of people were still alive. And it was before the Little Italy became the Little Italy that it is now.
Right.
It was a closed society.
Right.
No names mentioned, ever.
Right. It's nice when you come back with the director. There's a dialogue, there's a rapport. Also on the acting side, you feel like, this person really likes me because I'm back again.
I'm back.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't throw me out.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives you confidence. But you've done that, legendarily with De Niro and DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And we'll do Chanel commercials every 3 years.
Yes, exactly. No, but with them, though, it's just a different thing because De Niro knew me from the Lower East Side when we were 16 years old. So he knew the people I grew up with.
Right.
Still does. So a few of them left. He was with another group up on Kenmare Street. We were on Prince and Houston.
Okay.
Prince and Houston Street, Elizabeth, Mulberry. Every now and then we met in these after-hour bars late at night. Respectful and always very, very nice to each other. There's some of the guys he was with we didn't like. I'm talking about myself and a couple of my friends. We said,
these guys.
Stay away.
Was he already acting?
I couldn't tell. I don't think so.
Right.
I lost track of him is what happened.
Right.
And because Brian De Palma had been working with De Niro in High Mom.
Wow.
And so they said, you got to meet him. And after the dinner was over, we were sitting in another room, and he looked at me and he says, you used to hang out with Curdy, right? Joe Morale. And you're with, remember Albie Eyes? I said, yeah. He said, I'm Bobby. I said, Bobby? You mean Bobby from Kembe? He says, yeah.
Wow.
I said, I didn't realize. And that's how we came back together.
That's how we linked. My God. Yeah. And now you live 5 blocks from each other or whatever.
I don't know. He seems to be around the corner.
Yeah, you see him all the time.
I can't tell. In between roles, he looks anonymous. I have no idea who he is.
Right.
He could be right next to me.
He's at B&B Bagels on the line behind you or something.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on. I mean, one night we had dinner with Michael Powell, the great British director. We were preparing for Raging Bull. He wanted to ask him questions about gaining weight. There's a sequence that Powell does in his film Colonel Blimp. I said, well, we'll meet Bob tonight at dinner. And there was an apartment I had on 57th Street. And we're up there eating, and Bob's next to him, and everything's fine. And after the main course, before dessert, he said, I understand De Niro will be coming tonight. I said, he's right next to you.
Oh my God, he hadn't realized the whole time?
Because he's very quiet and he's anonymous.
You feel it in his work. You feel someone that's not vain, basically.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Because, hey, listen, if the shot plays best on my back and on somebody else's face, play it.
Right.
Whereas other actors, they need eye light.
Right.
They need to look a certain way.
Not talking about me, by the way. No.
He didn't need the eye light.
He didn't need any. And with Leo...
Leo, just interesting. A 30-year difference, but he has similar sensibility and a curiosity. Curiosity is the key thing. You know.
Man, is it ever. That's the biggest thing. And there's a Bob Dylan quote from Chronicles, his book. I might butcher it a little bit, but he says, if your ability to inspire, be curious, or observed is compromised in any way, then your creativity is compromised.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the danger of today, too.
Yeah. Because there's an answer to everything?
Yeah. An answer, and there's understandably a sensitivity, you know, which has to be balanced with art somehow, because the art should be free.
I just read for Taxi Driver that there was some, like, all the directors had come up with some rule or something. I'm going to butcher this too, but not to be more realistic, to not put violence in movies or something.
Right. Yeah. I still got that. I got that. Oh my God! I was shunned for Goodfellas.
Now, why? I was
shunned in certain Italian restaurants that wouldn't let me in.
Would you feel like over the years that perception changed?
No, I mean, look, violence is in ancient Greeks. Violence usually took place off stage, and it was described. It was just, it was off stage. A messenger comes in and says, "You should see what happened."
Right.
You should see what they did to you know.
Right.
Peleus, he was up there, and they tore him apart in the Bacchae. Oh my God, you know.
Also helps the fight budget and the stunt budget.
Yeah. But it was just as scary and just as disturbing, highly stylized. I guess I've had this kind of question about violence going all the way back to Mean Streets, you know. But I grew up in a place that was, you know, violence was a form of expression.
Right. And communication.
And, yeah, and it was serious. There was a difference between a friendly slap and a slap. And that was up to you to determine. You could see that in Goodfellas when he said, "Do you think I'm funny?"
Was that scripted?
No.
Yeah, that wasn't scripted.
No, something happened to Joe in his life. And he told me, and he said he got himself out of it. He got him by saying,
so he was on the opposite side of that situation.
Says, yeah, you're screwing with me. You're screwing with me. The guy said, I had you there, you bastard. I had you, you know? And I said, that's the story. It wasn't even the script, we put it in.
That reminds me when I was in middle school on 108th in Amsterdam, and I saw one of my good friends, Jordan, the week before. Someone said to him, he got in basically a tussle in an argument with a guy, and he said to the guy, "Oh, you're so tough, punch me in the face." And he leaned in. And the other guy was terrified, and he backed down. So, you know, a week later, I was getting hassled by some kids, and I leaned into the guy and said, "You're so tough, punch me in the face." And I got punched. One of the few times in my life I got punched so bad.
That really hurts.
Yeah. That really, it was one of the few times in my life I got really rocked in the face. It's a good lesson, though.
Yeah, no, I found, luckily I had the asthma because they would leave me alone. They're some of the toughest guys. They would fool you around and get mad at you and then say, "Oh, it's all right, the kid's sick." And they would take, "Yeah, come here." And they would take care of me. Oh, I love in the spot when you say, "Well, I'd be kinder to myself."
Wait, I haven't seen. I don't remember that. This
it's
must
in
be the new
now.
version.
Yeah, we put the.
Anyway, thank you. Thanks for letting me chat like this.
Oh, thanks.
Can we settle? We're just getting the last lines right here, and we're ending.
Hey, you guys settled or what? It can't be that bad.
Are you guys just trying to get?
He's good looking. What are you talking about?
No. Is that one on
He's
me?
a big deal, this kid.
Sorry, guys.
We take two. Let's see how sincere this is. Thanks again for chatting about.
Well, thank you, Timothy, and I guess I'll see you later, right?
I'll see you tonight.
Okay.
We'll celebrate this.
Terrific.